The university, in a way, represented the heart of the politics also in the state.
Real issues won't be protested here. It is like a political platform. This university has become a political platform to people.
धरना चौक के लिए एक धरना करना पड़ा और कोर्ट को जाके उससे परमिशन लेना पड़ा कि धरना चौक उसी पे रहो.
Any place like this should be the pride of any government. So why do you think there's this neglect?
So that the state government and the governor have been at loggerheads.
Okay, the same governor versus
exactly.
CM
So
side.
I think the infrastructure is really a problem because if you travel by roads, you see that it's like really bad, especially in the monsoon. We don't even have bowls in the washrooms. You find snakes sometimes. There are no lights, so it's like this is a basic need.
I honestly don't understand how you expect women to reach and continue with higher education, especially when you can't provide something as basic as that.
Unfortunately, the party which he led had protested almost 14 years to get the statehood. And after becoming CM, he diminished the entire system.
Welcome to another election show. We have reached Hyderabad and we are currently in Osmania University, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'm here with Yunus, who is the Bureau Chief of News Minute of Andhra and Telangana. So we're going to be picking his brain a lot on the issues here. This university is very special, as Yunus was telling us, because it has a very special role in the creation of Telangana. Tell us a bit about that.
Hi, so the university itself is old. It was founded in 1917, and Osmania University, the arts college very specifically, has until at least 2014 been a hub of political protests, and it was the hub of all the major Telangana protests as well. And the university, I think in 2009 December onwards, it kind of blew up the protest, especially after Raj Secretary died, YSR, ex-Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. The university, in a way, represented the heart of the politics also in the state, in the sense that a lot of issues would be raised here. Like, I don't know, Jantar Mantar, I guess in Delhi, like that kind of thing.
Used to be. That
yeah,
also, I think.
Exactly, used to be. So, yeah. So, as I'm telling you in my recent memory, when I joined the department in 2010.
Yeah.
So I remember almost every day while coming to campus, there would be like a huge protest happening in the front. And this is the place which also erupted in, celebration when Telangana was formed. Of course, Telangana was formed by support, by and large, from a lot of organizations, including the government employees, etc. Everybody chimed together. But 1969 is actually the first major political event in the state's formation as well, because 69, they call it the 69 movement. Is when, the people of Telangana felt kind of suffocated in terms of jobs and stuff. And they were like, we don't want jobs in a joint state, we want a separate state. So that 1969 year is when I think people also lost their entire academic year, especially from Osmania University, because they were the ones who were leading the protest. So the ex-Andhra AP joint state of Andhra Chief Minister Marichana Reddy was the man who led the protest. A lot of people also say that he betrayed the movement eventually, by not making sure that the state was formed back then.
But so, basically, this is a university that really had protests. This is where you saw a lot of protests for the state of Telangana. But you very interestingly said before 2014. Now, 2014 state is formed, and then we have the current chief minister. We have his party. So I want to know from the students the current state of protests. Firstly, so he's a big Ravish Kumar fan, so you can say hi to Ravish.
Hi Ravish, big fan of yours.
Your name also.
My name is Samuel. I'm from Hyderabad only. So it has become a circus now. People come to act, not to protest. It has become like that. It's a stage of action only. They don't, real issues won't be protested here. It is like a political platform. This university has become a political platform to people.
Is there freedom for students to protest here? Or is there a clampdown on protests?
So majorly, hi, my name is Sandeep. I am from the first year. So basically, So as my alumnus said, so it is the hub of protest. So everyone here come to protest. And even I graduated in 2010. At the time I was here, came here to support for the statehood of Telangana. Then I had a dream to study here. And after a span of almost 12 years, I achieved my dream by coming here. But majorly here the Telangana people who gives priority to their like self-respect. So self-respect comes from like vocal. They need to express themselves.
Speak up and talk about their issues.
Yeah. Actually, their DNA is like that.
One thing I want to tell our audience is that it's a beautiful university. It was built, like he said, in 1917, Yunus?
No, so the university, the arts college was, the construction began in 1934 after the government actually sent a bunch of engineers and officials abroad. They scouted Turkey, Egypt and other countries and finally caught somebody called Monsieur Jasper. So he designed the building and it was executed by, I think, Nawab Jain Yarjung, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong here, the name, sorry though. But 1934 to 39 is when the arts college was actually constructed. And it is what we call Indo-Sasanic architecture. And this building was very specifically designed after the Ajanta and Ellora cave, the harmonious, it melts that design into what we call Indo-Sasanic architecture. So the walls kind of represent the Ajanta Ellora design from Aurangabad. So like an ancient.
Yeah, it's a very, very beautiful building.
Yeah.
But you can see clearly, like he's saying, that it's in a state of neglect. Why is that? Because this should be the role it played for the movement, and also secondly, any place like this should be the pride of any government. So why do you think there's this neglect that you're talking about?
I'll tell you, because when I was a student here and then even after Telangana was formed and before Telangana was formed, the complaint always here was that the Andhra government, the Andhra leaders were always not giving us enough funds. If I'm not wrong, I remember 320 something ish was the crores was the actual amount required to run the place. They were giving 160. After Telangana was formed, the money increased, but then it's not sufficient from what I understand. And the arts college buildings maintenance has been it's been pending from I don't know how many years. Normally, this is a protective structure in the government's list, as far as I understand. That is why it should ideally be protected. And also, this is a structure made with what we call limestone mortar. So limestone mortar is unlike so you can't put cement on historic buildings, because that's when the building will start crumbling.
But in terms of like other infrastructure also, like he said, vacancies or
right.
like
so
why is that?
Hiring has been a very big problem. From the time when I was a student, hiring has always been an issue. Like I think about 10 years ago itself, all the senior professors were retiring. So there was a lot of demand for recruitment. But in this particular case, I would still not blame the state government fully, because they did pass a bill for recruitments as well. That bill was pending with the governor's office. There was a bit of a tussle with the governor, Tamilisai Soundararajan, who was BJP's ex-president in Tamil Nadu, I believe. So that the state government and the governor have been at loggerheads.
Okay, the same governor versus
exactly.
CM.
So I think she sent the bill for the president assent, saying that there are some issues with this. Don't know what's happening, but recruitment has by and large been an issue here, and that's one major chunk of the problem.
Okay, so I'm quickly going to go to the students and just ask them where you're from and what are your issues, because we're here for elections, so we want to know from you guys.
I think education should be given focus, because education is the foundation for any individual in today's world. If the government works towards extending the access of education even to the rural areas, that would be much better, because whenever I travel in the rural areas, I found that there is a school, a primary school, but it is run by only one teacher or two teachers, and there are about 100 students, and the accessibility to education is somewhat disconnected from what we understand. So yeah.
And what about you?
So daily I will travel by buses, government public transport. What the issue I face is I have to start very early in the morning, so that I don't come in a packed bus in a huge traffic and all. So I have to travel 1 hour early to come to college peacefully. If I come late, if I like half an hour late also, I will come in a packed bus, because the population is increasing, but the number of buses are like decreasing day by day. And RTC, and it was like recently RTC has been joined in the government, as said by our CM, but it was not done completely. The whole process has been not completed yet, and RTC employees are going to be considered as government employees very soon. I think they also should increase the number of buses daily, and yeah, public transport and traffic issues, and also the roads. On the main part of the city where the MNC companies and IT companies stay, the areas are very developed. And whatever you see about Hyderabad, they are all very developed. But the outskirts of the city or the areas where middle class and families generally reside, those roads are not very good.
One question that I wanted to ask you guys, and anyone can take it. Now, in your generation, since you've become adults, or since you've gained political understanding, you only had one party that has governed and one chief minister. So, what do you think of his tenure, the work that has happened over the 10 years, and what do you think of him as a personality? What do you think of KCR?
He did okay. I'm not against him, but in some cases like education, he failed. He failed. He did nothing in the education system. He did nothing to it. There's no increase in budget for education also. He did some like welfare schemes and all. He did good, but as a chief minister, and he's also a strong leader, but in education field he failed for me. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think the infrastructure is really a problem because if you travel by roads, you see that it's like really bad, especially in the monsoon and the seasons where they're like waterlogging and it causes a lot of accidents. So that is one thing I would say. And other than that, like he said, education is like neglected completely. If you see our in university itself, there are like abandoned labs, hostels, even like the classrooms are like not swept properly. We don't even have bowls in the washrooms. You find snakes sometimes, so there are no lights, so it's like this is a basic need.
And this is one thing, like even in Rajasthan, we heard so many women complain that they don't have basic hygiene and toilets. And I honestly don't understand how you expect women to reach and continue with higher education, especially when you can't provide something as basic as that. I mean, we went to universities in Rajasthan where a lot of women said that they skip exams on certain days because it's so bad. So that perennial problem you see here. Yunus, I just want to quickly know from you as a journalist who's covered this government, maybe like a strong point of this government, which is really working for them, and the biggest negative point, which is
strong point I would always say is that the fact that they have, see, the last time they won with a big majority is because they were able to provide water and power in the districts. So a good chunk of the support comes from the districts of Telangana, where the farmers at the bottom end, at least they were able to create the narrative that they're giving. And also the beneficiaries of the state, the welfare schemes, to a certain extent were getting money. Like I'm talking about the widows, pensions. I'm talking about certain groups having like certain, like for example, now, exactly. Now, for example, the government also started this scheme called Dalit Bandhu, which is about 10 lakh rupees per family, per person, per beneficiary. I think that there's a process to identify which family needs what, and then they're giving 10 lakh per person. I'm not sure how that's going to happen
for annually.
It's like if you're a Dalit person, if you're a Dalit person, like the idea is, I think, to alleviate Dalits out of poverty and to kind of make sure that
they have some means to get out of
it. Now they're also backward classes. Now, then they have something called BC Bandhu, which they came out after, I believe, because the backward classes got angry saying, what the hell, what about us? Okay. So then the sections among minorities, from what I understand, are quite, I won't say happy, but they're kind of content, for one reason that there's no major communal incidents that have taken place in the last 10 years. Second is that there's something called Shadi Mubarak and Kalyan Mubarak. Shadi Mubarak is a scheme, I think, where the government gives poor families, I think 1 point something change lakh rupees to kind of help them with wedding expenses.
Shadi Mubarak. Name is clear.
So but the thing is, in some cases, for example, it's actually kind of created, like a few cases have been reported where, families are, it's kind of encouraging young people to, like, families are pushing young people into getting married jaldi.
Oh, so that paisa jaye.
Paisa.
So shadi system mein kara lo, baki paisa
basically it's like incentive for like dowry wife or something like that, but I'm not sure if it's happening.
If it's at a large scale.
But
so schemes have worked, you're saying?
Schemes to a certain extent, yes.
What has not worked?
I think the fact that they promised a lot for Telangana, saying that golden Telangana, Bangaru Telangana, they said we'll do everything. See, if you look at the roads generally, I would say that they have managed to also create infrastructure in a very in a very short period, like you would to a certain extent. But what has not worked is the fact that KCR is authoritative. Okay, it is undemocratic in a lot of ways. For example, the government tried to shut down the only protest space called Dharna Chowk, and there was a protest held to protest against the government to keep Dharna Chowk in place.
Okay.
Right, and then you also have the way the government has also clamped down on civil society is a very big concern generally. For example, I remember. So this is a little bit. It's not surprising, but it's also a little bit unprecedented. For example, if KCR, KTR were going like Osmania University, like KCR has never said it, like there's no speech, nothing here. I think he came here once for the centenary and he didn't say anything and he left because they were anticipating that students would protest. And I think that is the reason why KCR has still not come to the campus till date. Okay, TRS.
So he's not someone who is fond of protests, and putting it lightly, he has an authoritarian streak.
Unemployment is a major issue. So I think because they promised a lot. See, let's face it, no government can provide jobs to everybody. They have to create jobs, from private companies or whatever. But I think about a year ago, the KCR announcing I think they started releasing government job notifications one by one for thousands of jobs. Finally, after close to the elections, so very clearly they very strategically released stuff when it comes to the elections only. I think this is understand there is a bit of a fatigue against the government saying 10 saal ho gaye abhi bol ke. There is the TRS runs on the face of KCR. Okay, it's not like the MLAs are liked. The MLAs are as corrupt as any other government. The MLAs have criminals as in the government.
And we have done a story also on this, on how the richest cabinet is in Telangana. The rise in wealth has been the most phenomenal.
Exactly.
So money is a big...
Yeah, money is a big... And government has been pushing massive infrastructure projects. I think Kaleshwaram, for example, it's called the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. The idea is, okay, Telangana historically has been a dry state. So to a certain extent, they have been able to get water to areas that never had access to water easily. But the cost, it was originally a Congress project. It started 40,000 something crore. That went to 80,000 by 2019 when I last reported in detail, and now it's gone to 1 lakh crore. So it's like a
always
we can't say it's not needed because we definitely need water. State is a dry state, but the cost escalation is like a massive number.
It is not justified.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if it's justified, but I'm saying that they need answers, which I don't think have been provided till date.
So how many newspapers does KCR own? We have one here. This is which one?
Namaste Telangana.
The Namaste Telangana is owned by KCR?
So they own T News, they own Namaste Telangana. I believe and there was an older. I'm not sure if it was called Metro India, but from what I understand, the Telangana Today, the English paper, it is owned by the family. So Namaste Telangana is a Telugu paper, Telangana Today is the English paper, and T News. They have everything. They have everything covered.
This is Namaste Telangana.
Yeah.
And what does the headline say?
Congress Kel Khatam, Duknam Band. Duknam means Dukan.
So Congress ka khel khatam or unki dukaan khatam. And what does this headline say?
Congress Bhutantram, which is against the Congress land portals.
Okay. And I think somewhere in the English version, I had read that they are saying that Kharge's rally was completely empty. What does it say here?
It's on the very here.
What does it say?
They actually compared with two pictures. One is KCR's meeting and another is this one.
Congresses. So they are basically saying that the Congress has empty chairs and so this is what happens when governments own your newspaper. They only talk about how great they are and how bad the whole opposition is. So which is why it's very important that state governments or central governments don't have so much control over the media through ads and also through direct ownership. I think we can just take a last question from all of you. Some of you will vote, some of you will not vote. But with this, you have the option, since you've only had one party so far, would you guys want more options in terms of there's a Congress, but BJP or other parties? What's your view on having more parties come in here and maybe trying them out? Would you like to try out BJP here?
One small thing though, let's not forget that when Telangana was formed, you had the TRS, or when it was called TRS, that 163 seats. You had the Congress, which won 21. You had TDP,
and it's a strong contender right
now. Back then, you had the TDP, which won 15. You had Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP, which won 2 or 3 seats, 3 seats. So you had Congress, you had TDP, you had TRS, you had and YSRCP.
And you have
And
had a lot of
5 seats.
And
You have BJP with 5 seats
yeah,
in
and
2014.
BJP and MIM. So you had like a literally multi-party system. And what happens after 2014 is Congress to hai hi, KCR starts buying MLAs. So TDP becomes khali. I think a good chunk of the Congress MLAs also quit. YSRCP MLAs also. So I think the smaller ones get eaten away like this. Ek jhatke mein. So the only thing left was the Congress and a small chunk of the TDP under Naidu. That's why Naidu last time came and campaigned so much. I think वो सोचा के एक पैर यहाँ एक पैर वहाँ रख के कुछ करेंगे, but I think eventually it came down to only the TRS, Congress.
So a lot of it is, you would say, buying MLAs also.
Yeah.
So authoritarian control over media, taking over the opposition. This is a very natural alliance with BJP. Why are we not seeing these two parties come together?
That is the story, right? Everybody seems to believe the theory that BJP and BRS have some.
Do you believe that BJP and BRS are together?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know about the actual sources, but the scenario seems the same. As Yunus said, KCR has diminished all the opposition parties. I'm here to say that unfortunately, dissent is needed in democracy. Unfortunately, the party which he led had protested almost 14 years to get the statehood. And after becoming CM, he diminished the entire system. Like Yunus said, धरना चौक के लिए एक धरना करना पड़ा और कोर्ट को जाके उससे परमिशन लेना पड़ा कि धरना चौक उसी पे रहो. सो आई मीन ऐसा हालत हो गया है कि जो वो काम करके वो गद्दे पे है वो वही काम को भूल गया.
See, a lot of people voted for BRS also because they were happy that some work was done. But a lot of people are also very unhappy because they've been promised a lot of things. The best example I can give you is the unemployment. There was something called the Unemployment Joint Action Committee, like unemployment youth. So they were holding a protest, and I think I remember this very clearly because the government actually clamped down so badly that even people who were trying to come in buses from districts were stopped and arrested and detained at the bus stop itself.
Which year was this?
I think 2017 or 18 around, before the second election.
So this was the young people who started
Young
this?
people, a lot
And there was a clampdown.
so the person who all of us have forgotten today is Professor Kodandram, who was a professor, I believe, from Osmania University only. Professor Kodandram was the chairman of the Joint Action Committee, the Telangana Joint Action Committee, and he was, I guess, maybe at some point as famous as KCR himself. So he's been today sidelined majorly because he went on to form the political party called the TJ, Telangana Jan Samiti, but it's now clearly, the opposition has been slowly wiped out, but the Congress has been resurgent. That's why I think.
So we'll see in this election how many seats they managed to get, and apparently they're, from what, I mean, we've only been here one day, so we will not offer any predictions, but what a lot of journalists here are saying, that they're in the game at least pretty strongly. Last, we'll give to Ravish Kumar's fan. So BJP BRS conspiracy, do you believe it?
I do believe it.
Why?
Why? Because before Karnataka elections, it was between BJP and BRS. After that, they have told Kavita will be arrested and they told a lot of things. None of that happened. And you see the ads, right? There is no BJP ad. There is only Congress and BRS only. There's no BJP in the context. Maybe in Hyderabad and some parts, but the fight is between Congress and BRS.
So someone made a deal, according to your conspiracy.
For sure.
Huh? For sure. We can't. Chalo. He's sure, but we are presenting it as a conspiracy. We won't say it's totally sure. One last quick question to you only, I'll ask. What do you think of this name, Bharat Rashtra Samiti? You think it should be Telangana? I mean, are you guys confused ki Bharat kyun hai?
Actually, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti was formed for the statehood of Telangana. So Telangana people believed that it is their party. So that's why they voted twice in a power. First time they got 61 seats. Next time they got almost 88 to 90 seats, which is a great chunk if we compare to 119 seats. But I definitely vote for that some of the strong believers and strong supporters got number reduced. Why? Because they changed their identity. Why? Because they used to call their Telangana is our patent right. But if we change and they want to they want to expand to Maharashtra and everywhere. So here people, they lost their chance to other parties that they are outsiders. They also become outsiders in the other states.
Okay, so it dilutes their identity a little bit. So that's our conversation from Osmania University. We're going to be in Hyderabad for the next 2 days. Tomorrow we have a town hall with the News Minute team. We're going to talk about some very important issues in the state and in this election. So stay tuned. Keep watching another election show. Newslaundry and
The News Minute
will be hitting ground zero together, where our team of reporters and producers will bring you authentic and nuanced election coverage.
So contribute now.
Log on to newslaundry.com/election fund and help us make election coverage great again.
Because we are stronger together.